Alright, so in this quick basic tutorial we're going to do a couple things. We're going to be creating a formula, we're going to be using cell references in that formula, pointing to other cells. We're going to learn how to fill that formula to the left or down or to the right, and we're going to use that $sign to keep certain values constant in our formula. So let's say we have the length and width of a bunch of different boards, and we need to find the areas, and we don't want to calculate it each and every single time. So anytime we start a formula, we create one, we start with an equal sign, saying this cell is equal to. Now we could go 2 times 1, which is the values we want, and we get a 2, and we can go equals 2 times 2 times 2, gets 4, so on and so forth. But if we ever changed these values, it doesn't update down there. So instead, we want to use cell references. So equals length, I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I get B1, times width, which would be B2. You could type those in too, but I find pointing and clicking is much easier. Now, alright, that's good for this cell, but let's say I want to do that in all of these cells. Instead of typing it again and again and again and again, I'm going to click this little box, the little square in the bottom right of that cell, click and drag to all the cells I want to do the same thing. And it's going to take that formula and do it for each and every single column I have. In fact, if I wanted to do that over here, if I had, columns instead of rows, and I said, okay, equals my length times my width, and I have one right there, I can take it and fill down, or hit Control D, and to do the same thing. Alright, so that's great. But let's say I want to do one more thing. I actually want to add a constant value, 10, over here, for whatever reason. Now if I fill that across, it didn't like that. It didn't do something right. So here it filled, alright, it added I3, which is where that value is. If I go to the next one, it added J3, and this one K3. Well, I don't want it to fill over this as well. I want it to stay there. So if I want to use a constant value, I want to use a $sign. So I'm going to go into my formula bar, click in there, put a $sign in front of the I and a $sign in front of the 3. This is going to tell the formula to keep that value constant. Don't move it if I fill it down elsewhere. So if I fill this across, now I have the C1 and C2, D1 and D2, but I3 is staying the same. And I can do the same thing here, filling down. So I'm going to add a constant value, and then I'm going to go in, add the $signs to keep that value constant, and fill down. You also have the option of keeping only the number, only the row, or only the column constant as well. But that should be enough to get you started to make your table for areas, moments of inertia, and a modulus of elasticities.